Hello, I'm Lynn Davis, Coordinator of Mental Health Services for Frederick County Public Schools, here with Courtnay Hatcher, school psychologist. Courtnay serves students in 3 different schools in our district. We'll be talking together about a topic of critical importance now more than ever, mental health. We all want to see our students succeed and enjoy the healthy and prosperous future we plan for them as educators and as parents. Good mental health is an important part of that equation, and the stresses caused by the COVID-19 pandemic can put the well-being of even the strongest students and families at risk. Human beings are creatures of connection. We were born to be social, and the necessary restrictions on gathering together have been hard. Many families have experienced significant losses, and meeting basic needs has been a challenge. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, anxiety, depression, trauma, and substance abuse have all increased due to the pandemic, with about 40% of adults experiencing one or more of these symptoms. The stress is affecting our students as well. Courtnay, let's talk about the connection between mental health and academic success. We talk a lot about social emotional learning and how that's foundational to students doing well in school. What does that mean, social emotional learning?
So social emotional learning is a dedicated time where teachers teach children how to understand their bodies and regulate their moods, where children have an awareness of what they're feeling. All of our schools in Frederick County have weekly dedicated time for teachers to do this, where students can connect with not only their teacher, but some of their other classmates.
Wow. So I heard one time that Bruce Perry said, first you have to regulate in order to relate, and only then can you reason. I thought, so in order for our brains to take in new information, we actually have to be having calm bodies and minds, and then being able to relate well to other people just in order to learn new things?
Correct. And the goal of the SL curriculum is to actually teach students from K to 12 how to do that. And this is a lifelong skill that they can apply to school, to their jobs, their whole lifespan.
That's fantastic. I know that FCPS provides paths promoting alternative thinking strategies in all of our classrooms in all elementary schools. So the lessons are twice a week for that, is that right?
They're either twice a week or 3 times, depending upon how the teacher is going to break it up. It's a curriculum that they use, and so it's a time when they get together. Some teachers have puppets depending upon the age group. My daughter's in school here, and she really loves it. And it teaches them how to recognize faces for little ones, how to communicate when they're feeling upset, some skills they can use, because unless they're ready with calm bodies and calm minds, they're not open to learning the information or the academic material.
That makes sense. And I know for our secondary schools, middle and high schools, we have EQ at home now?
Yes. And so last year they did more of that face-to-face, but not more in a virtual learning. That's more of a interaction where they log in, there's videos they can watch. All of our schools have school therapists that the students can access whenever they need to help guide them with that. Some of the schools all schools have dedicated time, but there's also additional time for our older students who might have more of an awareness of what this pandemic is doing, where they can access those individuals to help them more either one-on-one or some small group settings.
That's great.
To process some of these feelings they're having.
So we have school psychologists and school counselors that serve every school, and they do small groups and individual check-ins?
Correct. So most of them will have a virtual classroom that students can go to find resources. They will also have times during the day where they can talk with students. And some will even have times where you can just call and meet one-on-one as needed, depending upon. So all high schools have the as needed since they're so large.
And then some programs have therapists, and we have social workers in some schools. So that's important. But what can all of us do to help social emotional learning?
So all of us, I think the best thing is to teach children how to self-regulate. And so self-regulation is a way where you are going to be aware of your own body and what your body needs. And so a lot of us have heard of these mindful moments or mindful activities we can do. There's a lot of free apps for your iPhone or your Google Android where you can download. And it's just a way for you to calm your body or to be grounded, as we say, in the moment. And so during times of stress or where you're feeling your heart going a little fast or your head spinning or your hands getting a little clampy, it's ways where you can breathe and kind of relax. And so students learn through modeling. So as an adult, I'm going to take some deep breaths and relax. And then my child's going to see that, and I'm going to model for them and ask them to do it. And that will help us calm down and will give us the space to think through a solution for the moment. And also knowing when I need to take a break. So as an adult, there are times in my life where I need to take a break and I might need to call and ask for some support, whether it's through my mom or if it's really upsetting, I might need to call 211 or another number to get some professional help.
Times are really stressful for adults right now. There are financial pressures, job pressures, helping your child maintain their educational program. What do parents need to know most? What's the most important thing for them with all of these important priorities?
I think routines. I think children seek patterns and children seek predictability. So in these unpredictable times, if we could provide our learners and our students predictability, that's helpful. So some easy things parents can do at home are to have pre-established work areas in their house and a daily routine. So even if your house is like mine, where it's not very big, so we use our kitchen table for our workspace and for eating, but our daughter knows that during school times, that's her dedicated space, and then we clean everything up and put it away. And then for our meals, that's our meal time. But she has that pattern of she wakes up at the same time, she'll brush her teeth, she'll do her pre-work for her class, then we unpack her stuff, it stays there for the day, and then we clean it up and get ready for our meals. That gives her that predictability. So even though it could be chaotic with the pandemic, she might not know when she's gonna see her grandma next, because depending upon what's going on out in the world, it might just be me at home with her, but she knows she can rely on that Monday through Friday routine. Something else with learners, and with us too, we fatigue out. So after sitting at a screen for 45 minutes, all of us are getting fatigued. So getting her up and moving. So getting all of our learners, whether they're in pre-K like mine, kindergarten like mine, she's growing up fast, or older students, having them move their bodies between the asynchronous and synchronous learning really helps get your brain back on track and not really zoning out. Students, like you said earlier, as humans, we need that interaction with each other. We need that feedback. And so one thing that we're knowing through the research that's coming out with this virtual learning is that all of our learners are missing that teacher feedback. They're missing that good job, great job, keep going. I know that's hard, those quick moments. And so as hard as it is for parents, because I know we're trying to work and do this, but if we can give students some feedback throughout the day as to what they're doing, that can help motivate them to keep going. And we might see that they're able to turn in some more work for their teachers.
So sometimes it's just hard to do what should be done. These are great ideas, and parents who follow them are probably going to see really good results for themselves and their families. One thing I've heard you talk about before is having grace for ourselves. How does that play into this?
Yes. Again, we have to acknowledge that this is unprecedented time for our nation. And we need to recognize that this is stressful for everybody. So giving ourselves grace, knowing that we're stressed out. We're not designed as a community to work from home and have our kids at home during the day. That is a lot on anybody's plate. So there are going to be times where you're not going to handle a situation as you might have when you weren't as stressed out. So just acknowledging that and giving yourself the grace to go, I'm having a rough day and it's going to be okay. Giving our children grace. They're not used to being at home with you all day either. As much as they love you, they miss their friends. They don't fully understand everything that's happening because their brains aren't fully developed yet and they can't process the way we process. So when they randomly have a meltdown with something that that they probably should be able to handle emotionally and they can't, giving them grace with that. And just acknowledging that we're all a little more stressed out than we normally are. And it's okay not to be okay, and to fill your bucket, because you can't pour into somebody else's bucket if yours is empty. So really knowing when, as the adult, you need support and being okay with that, and then seeking that support so that way you can continue to feed into your families.
So I know kindness actually is an antidote to stress. It makes our brains produce oxytocin, which helps us bond with each other, and it stops that stress hormone cortisol from being active, so we can actually spread calm when we're kind.
Yes. So one way we can do this is through gratitude. So research shows that when we think of things we're grateful for, even one thing a day, it will help give our bodies that boost, right? So throughout the day, think of one thing. So for example, today was snowing. I could have said, oh, it's snowing, I have to drive to work. Or I could flip it and go, wow, it's snowing. That means my children get to go outside and play in the snow. And having that one grateful moment gives my mind that oxytocin boost, and I feel better. And so if you can do that one time a day, for some people it helps to journal it down. I'm not a big writer. That will help you have those moments. So even though we have more chaos in our lives through the pandemic, writing one thing down a day or having a mindful moment where we're grateful can actually help give you those boosts in your brain to help you feel a little better.
So sometimes things don't go right for folks. Sometimes things get really hard, and sometimes our kids or our family members need extra help. What are some of the things you've seen that might be signs of a student needing more help, needing a parent or a teacher to get some extra assistance?
So sudden shifts in behavior is a huge flag. So things that your child would historically like to do, they no longer like. So interests, hobbies, that kind of thing. If you hear them saying the same thing over and over again, voicing concerns, having just a pervasive mood of sadness or lack of hopefulness, that's going to be another flag. Okay. Drawings, if you have a student who draws or writes and you notice a pattern with that, with some darker themes, that's going to be a flag where you want to reach out to your child's school and see if there's someone there you can talk to. If you have a child who normally turned in assignments and all of a sudden has stopped turning assignments. So any type of behavioral changes would be something I would be concerned about, and I'd reach out to your child's school and talk with your clinician there.
So all parents can contact the school counselor to find out for more resources for the family and for students.
Yeah, most of our schools have even things like food. So if you need support with food, that's a great place to contact. Your school would be able to help you with things like that as well.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us today. And thank you for joining us for this conversation. We want you to know that we can get through this by working together to find a way forward. You can find resources to support you here at fcps.org. We're also launching a new student mental health initiative in partnership with the Frederick County Health Department called A Way Forward Together for Teens, and you can look for the link here. If the stresses of our current situation have threatened to overwhelm your child's ability to cope, reach out now. You can contact the school counselor. You can call 211 and ask for resources or crisis support, or you can contact the walk-in crisis clinic. They have virtual and walk-in appointments every day of the week. There is help and there's hope. Thank you for joining us.